Hello and welcome into the studio. It is Todd and Hudson back with another VO Marketing Pro numbers, Todd's voiceover alone income numbers, my voiceover alone full-time income numbers.
You're almost hurting me with that.
And the VO Marketing Pro income numbers. We do these videos every single week, if you can't tell. We're getting on each other's nerves. Yeah, yes. We do these every single Friday, rain or shine. We are here, so you can check out these videos on our YouTube channel. Like I said, we're here every single week, so you can check out how we've done for the past couple years that we've been doing these videos.
As far as we know, nobody gives their numbers publicly week in and week out like we do. And we give our exact numbers for a couple of reasons. We don't do it because we're narcissists. We don't do it because we're trying to brag, or we're not trying to be discouraging, nor are we trying to really be encouraging. Some people say, well, it's really encouraging when you give your numbers because we know it's possible. That's great. That's not exactly why we do it, any of those reasons. First, we just believe that there's a tremendous lack of transparency in the voiceover industry. Myriads of coaches are out there every single day in VO land peddling the way that they do business, and no one knows how successful they are in business, because if you're in business to make money and to turn a profit. And that shows how successful you are and how believable you are and how trustworthy you are. And so we just think that it's important for us to be behind, if we're behind these microphones in front of this camera every single week, talking about our numbers, and sometimes giving some tips. You know, we have a small group called VO Marketing Pro Plus, about 20 people, and we help them grow their business and talk VO, all things VO. We have multiple videos throughout the week in a Facebook group. And so we just feel like we owe it to you to say, this is how much money we make. And what it does is it says, you can determine then how successful we are and if we're worthy to be listened to.
Yep. Good little side note there. We will jump into our VO Marketing Pro numbers, which is a direct email marketing company that sends out direct emails the same way Dad's hired assistant for marketing has been doing
since 2016.
Since 2016, and how he started it out. A couple years ago, Dad made $213,000 alone in direct marketing income all by itself. So that speaks for itself. Once again, the number there, Dad, what is it? 4 years in a row, you made $300,000. 8 years in a row, you made $200,000. 9 years in a row. Now, you're probably pretty close to.
I'm at about 66,000.
So 9 years in a row.
Hopefully it'll be 10 years, in 3-4 months, it'll be 10 years. That'll be over 100,000.
And that's been consistent. So in a world where they say voiceover, you can't have a consistent business, Dad's proven that. So that's just where that transparency, it's not bragging, it's that business style works. We have a bias, so you can take that or leave it however you want. Correct. So anyway, we will jump into their numbers. It's folks who come to us to have us be their assistant, not Dad and I, but somebody else be their assistant for them. So here we go. 9 warm responses this week. That's not including my numbers, although I do have an assistant that does the same thing that Dad's assistant does and Joe does for the VO Marketing Pro group. We had 20 auditions this week, which is very nice. And then Tyler Boss had the one booked job this week. I had 2 auditions from VO Marketing Pro. Haven't heard back yet about those, but that's really nice to have. So I'll talk about those in my numbers. Thanks to the folks who reported their numbers. We appreciate that. And I'm sure there'll be maybe some more coming in with those auditions in the weeks to come.
Yes.
So congrats to Tyler Boss for this week. He's been with us for a long time. So on to my numbers. This year I'm trying to make $110,000. Last year I made $80,005 actually. I just barely got over it. And
that was your goal, and you made $5 more.
Hey, don't make me make $5 more than my goal.
Yeah.
But this year I'm trying to make $2,100 a week. So here goes nothing. 2 warm responses in direct marketing. I am sending out emails on my behalf, and I have an assistant that I hired to do for me. I had 4 auditions this week through direct marketing. 10 jobs between Upwork, Voice123, Direct Marketing, Fiverr, and Voices.com. Let's see here. I had 3 jobs, and a recurring client come back with a fix for a total of $223.20 on Upwork. Voice123, 3 jobs for a total of $1,150. One of them was from a client that said they wanted to use my voice, had to get clearance from both clients. They used my voice for the scratch track. I found out today that they're going to go ahead with me, and it's a $500 job altogether, but I put $400 towards it because I was already paid the $100 for the scratch track. There we go. So 3 jobs for $1,150. 1 job for direct marketing, it was $175. It ended up being $169.77 because after I transfer it from PayPal, they take a certain amount. So $169.77 on direct marketing. And then I had 3 jobs for a total of $72. You can do the math there. Voices.com, struck out 0. Did auditions on there, got a short list this week. Voice123, I had 17 likes. I don't usually share that with you guys, but I'll throw that out there. So my voiceover alone was $1,614.97, about $500 behind what I would like to be. But I got a couple things in the hopper with auditions and possible jobs that could come through next week. So looking forward to that and hoping that I'll have those in the numbers next week. My total after doing some editing for Dad, I did 10 hours, $20 an hour. I keep that separate. $1,814.97, another level of transparency. Don't make anything coaching. I don't put anything else in there. It's just
me either.
Just voiceover alone and then editing for you because you're busy.
Yep. Yeah, I don't do any coaching for money. Do quite a bit of coaching for people for free. And that's just the way it's going to be, at least for the time being. So this is all VO only income for me. I am trying to make $3,000 a week this year. After many years of just trying to make as much as possible. Hudson talked about some of the figures. The last 2 years I've been cutting back. Last year I was shooting for $250. For the year I made $269. This year I'm shooting for $150. I'm ahead of that scheduled rate at this point. I'm not doing many auditions. So 0 on Voice123, 0 on Voices.com. I did 1 proposal this week on Upwork, 0 on there. Fiverr, I had 11 jobs for $1,244, and my direct email marketing income was $1,950. My total, $3,194. So I made my your goal again, 3,194. I had 1 new client. They took me off Voice123, or found me on Voice123, and now this afternoon, I added up my numbers, and while I was adding them up, I got an email for a $400 job for a company that I've both worked off of direct marketing. Then they found me on Voice123 when they switched and just went there. And so I'm going to finish that. That'll be for next week. It's $400. Nice. And then I have a session from another company that found me on Voice123. I did an audition, and that's $450. So I'm already starting out at $850.
Making it hard for me to beat you.
For next week already. That's what I have in the hopper so far. So that's it for me.
Nice. All right. Thank you for stopping by. If you're stopping by every week, we appreciate it. And if you think this would be helpful for maybe a friend of yours in voiceover, or you just stopped by and saw it, feel free to share it with them. Not a problem. If you have any questions, you can ask in the comments or whatever. We're not a real hyped up thing. We don't do a lot of editing. We just are kind of the day in, day out.
If you want to find out more about that private group that we have, it's $50 a month, and you get 2 fireside chats, Hudson and I. It's about 20 minutes each day. We talk strategies, talk about our weeks. We have a webinar, basically a deep dive into these numbers on Friday afternoons at 1:30 Central. We have a very active Facebook group. So there's an email address there for you in the show notes, so you can take a look at that.
All right. Have a good weekend. We'll be here next week. See ya.